Welcome to the Architecture Corner. Today, we're digging into something really key, how developers, can really start thinking more architecturally, and how we can scale that kind of thinking across a whole organization. Our goal here is to help you cut through all the noise, navigate these new technologies constantly popping up, and make decisions that really stick.
That's right. And we're drawing heavily on some really insightful guidance from Mario Bittencourt today. He really focuses on spreading that architectural mindset, especially getting developers involved. It's about building with intention, not just, churning out code.
Okay, let's talk about that pressure first. Developers see new frameworks, new tools all the time. It feels like you finish one thing and boom, there's a shinier toy. And there's this immediate pressure, maybe a bit of FOMO, right? That fear of getting stuck with legacy. What's the real deal with that fear? Is legacy always bad?
Well, that's the interesting part. Often legacy just means technology that's proven, it works, your team knows it. Throwing that away without a solid plan, that's super risky. Like the guide points out, being on the absolute bleeding edge, that usually comes with some pain.
Pain like
Yeah.
discovering bugs for everyone else.
Exactly. You're essentially paying to find the problems and build the initial tooling that others benefit from later. It's less innovation, more like an early adopter tax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That puts a different spin on it. So if jumping on every new trend isn't smart, how should we approach new tech responsibly?
Good question. The guide lays out 3 really critical goals when you're looking at something new. First, what problems does it actually solve? And crucially, are these your problems? Or are you just sort of buying into hype for an issue you don't really have?
Right, is it solving my specific need? Okay,
Yeah.
what's second?
Second, identify the trade-offs. Always. No tech is perfect. You absolutely need to understand the downsides. Is it costly to run? Complex to maintain? Does it add latency? Users will notice. Knowing the limits is just as important as the cool features.
Makes sense. And the third?
Third, have we seen this pattern before? A lot of new tech is often a spin on older ideas. Recognizing those past patterns helps you understand the recurring challenges and maybe leverage existing solutions. Avoid reinventing the wheel, basically. Though this one often takes some real experience.
So understand your problem, weigh the real trade-offs, and check if it's just history repeating itself. Okay, let's say you do that homework, and the technology still looks promising. What's the next practical step? How do you try it out without, breaking everything?
Yeah, you definitely want a safe space for that. The recommendation is clear. Avoid critical business processes at first. You'd maybe list the potential use cases where it fits, then cross off the ones where the trade-offs you identified are deal breakers, prioritize what's left, and pick one with minimal potential impact to start.
And if you're unsure about that impact,
Talk to your product or business teams. Get their input on the risk. Don't go it alone on that assessment.
okay, safe experimentation, got it. But then learning something yourself is one thing. How do you share that knowledge effectively across the whole team?
Right, spreading the knowledge is key. This is where something like regular architecture presentations can be really powerful. And listen, you don't need to be a titled architect to do this. The idea is experiment enough to get a real feel for how it works, then put together a short presentation for the team.
What should be in that presentation?
Focus on 2 things. How it helps with your team's actual use cases, maybe even a quick demo if possible, and critically the negative aspects. Be honest about the cost, the complexity, the latency, whatever downsides you found.
And do this regularly.
Yes, regularly presenting these findings builds that shared understanding and critical thinking culture.
I like that. Fostering a culture, not just documenting. But speaking of documenting,
Yeah.
how do we remember why we made big decisions months or years later, especially with new people joining?
The classic why did we do this problem.
Exactly. Staring at some core piece of the system.
That's where architecture design records, or ADRs, come in. Think of them as your team's architectural memory. An ADR basically captures the options you looked at, what you decided, and crucially, why you decided it.
So it prevents that collective amnesia. What does an ADR actually look like? Is it complicated?
It doesn't have to be. Basic sections usually cover status like, is it proposed, accepted, deprecated, context, what problem or constraints led to this, then the decision itself, what did you choose and why? And often, the options considered what else did you look at and reject and why? Maybe some references too.
Okay, context, decision, rationale. Seems straightforward.
Yeah, and the key is use them for significant decisions, the ones that are hard or expensive to change later.
Yeah.
Don't create bureaucracy for every little thing.
Right, not for choosing a variable name.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And it's often recommended to write the ADR before you start coding the implementation, especially in agile setups. It locks in the reasoning when it's fresh.
So pulling this all together, what this really means for you, the listener, is that building an architectural mindset isn't about chasing trends. It's more about asking the right questions for your situation, considering the real costs, the context, and then actually measuring if it worked.
Absolutely. And here's a final thought. Even a decision that maybe doesn't pan out perfectly, if it's captured in an ADR with the reasoning, that becomes a super valuable lesson for the future. So every decision, even the wrong ones, helps you continuously improve how you build things. It's a learning process.
That's a great way to look at it, learning from everything. To explore these ideas further, definitely check out the description for links and more information. And hey, if you found this useful, please subscribe for free to the Architecture Corner newsletter over at architecturecorner.substack.com. Thanks for tuning in.